morning. I'm Dr. Kwame R. Morton, and it is my pleasure to welcome you all to the Cherry Hill High School West Class of 2020 virtual commencement ceremony. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought about a reality that none of us thought that we would ever realize in our lifetimes. We're committed to honoring our seniors in person in July, but it's also necessary that we conduct a virtual ceremony so that we may confer diplomas to our students in June. I'm extremely honored that you have taken the time to view the ceremony. I would like to express my gratitude and appreciation to Board President Ms. Lisa Seidel and the members of the Cherry Hill Board of Education for their tireless service to our community. I extend gratitude and appreciation to our wonderful Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Joseph Malash, for his commitment to our children and for his bottom line insistence that we honor the class of 2020 appropriately. Thank you to the members of the Superintendent's Council for supporting the class of 2020. Thank you to Dr. John Burns, 12th grade House Office Principal. Your work ethic, passion, and love for the class of 2020 has been remarkable. Thank you to the members of the Cherry Hill High School West administration. Thank you to Ms. Nancy Schmerick and Mr. Joseph Boyler, senior class advisors. Thank you to the faculty, staff, parents, family members, and friends, and those that have contributed to the success of the class of 2020. Most importantly, I say thank you to the members of the class of 2020 for an outstanding 4 years. And now at this time, the members of the Cherry Hill High School West Air Force Junior ROTC will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the Cherry Hill West Trumpet Quartet with the playing of our national anthem. Enjoy.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, Dr. Morton, Dr. Malash, members of the Board of Education and the Superintendency, West Administration, parents, families, friends, and of course, the class of 2020. Thank you for joining us in celebrating the class of 2020. I am Maria Musa, and it is my honor and privilege to welcome you to the virtual commencement for the class of 2020. I never thought that I would be giving a graduation speech in these circumstances, but I truly feel that these circumstances exemplify who the class of 2020 really is. I would like to take a minute to remind you that while we are in this hardship, there's a lot that we can be happy about. Now that our graduation is virtual, our families from all over the country can watch us graduate and achieve what we've worked hard for these past 12 years. We are a class that has made history, and we will be remembered for many years to come. We are part of a group of students that has shown resilience and perseverance. We have been through so much these past few months, but in the end, we persevered, and we come together today to celebrate the end of the past 12 years of our lives. I would like to thank Dr. Morton, who has not only been my principal here at West, but also my elementary school principal at Kilmer. His continuous love and support for all of us has been truly inspiring. I would also like to thank my teachers, coaches, and my parents for all their support and always being there for me, and no matter what, never giving up on me. As I look back at my years at West, I cannot help but smile, thinking about all the memories that I made in this building. And most of all, I would not change one thing about my time here at West. Today, as we participate in this new type of ceremony, under these new type of circumstances, I encourage all of you to reflect on your time here at West and the impact that West has made on you. To quote a line from the musical Wicked, "Because I knew you, I am not changed for the better, but I am changed for the good." Thank you.
The class of 2020 student address will be delivered by Maddie Connors-Gigenti.
Good morning, Dr. Morton, Dr. Malash, members of the Board of Education and the Superintendency, West administration and teachers, parents and families, friends, and of course, the class of 2020. I think of our journey together as the best book ever written. As any good author knows, chapter 1 is the most important because it shapes the rest of the book. And as our English teachers know, if chapter 1 isn't any good, we close the book altogether, resulting in vague essays that have a questionable amount of similarities to the movie. Lucky for me, my chapter 1 took place at Thomas Paine Elementary School. And without the people in that chapter, many staying by my side all the way till chapter 12, I would not be who I am today. Think about a few people in your chapter 1 and the memories you shared. You went from playing tag at recess to pulling in beside each other in the Jones Gym parking lot. The reader of the book is always rooting for these chapter 1 friendships to last all the way till the final chapter. And we're so lucky that so many of ours did. In chapters 6, 7, and 8, we expanded our friendships town-wide just in time for the awkward stage with unlimited cringy memories. These were the years that we decided that the coolest possible after party for the school dances would be at the Starbucks inside the local Barnes & Noble. And of course, we never left without too many pictures of our Starbucks cups, which we would later post on Instagram. In chapter 9, we made the big transition to our home for the next 4 years. And since then, there has been so much to be proud of together. It isn't all about what you do, but it's who you do it with. Together, we shared countless basketball games, football games, and swim meets, where it didn't matter if the drive was 10 minutes down the road or an hour to Ocean City. Everyone knew that the West students would make sure that there was a fan section there to support the team. We had 3 years of winning class lip syncs in which the theater people, DECA kids, athletes, NHS members, and many others all took the stage unifying us as one class. Where else would you see something like that besides High School Musical? Being a West student is so much more than classes on your schedule. It is so much more than field trips and proms. It is so much more than sports games and performances. It is a place where we create bonds that will last a lifetime and where we create a family of people who share these common memories with us. And just as we were approaching the final half of chapter 12, we all thought that this was the predictable part. We knew the exact ending of the story because it had been the same as far back as we could remember. The chapter with the ending we all knew suddenly changed and was no longer predictable. But the best books are never the predictable ones. Every time a book ends with a cliffhanger, the first thing the reader says is, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait to read the next book. It's going to be so good." And the same goes for us, class of 2020. The unexpected ending of this book only makes for a better story. I have no doubt that all of your sequels will be amazing, and I will be following your stories and cheering you on, because you always and forever will be a part of my story. Thank you, and the end.
This morning's National Honor Society student address will be given by Calvin Justin Alafaroff, President of the Robert E. Hansen Chapter of the National Honor Society.
Good morning, Dr. Morton, Dr. Malash, members of the Board of Education and the Superintendency, West administration, teachers, friends, families, and of course, the class of 2020. Earlier in Spirit Week, during senior year, the Cherry Hill West students were all sitting decked out in their sports apparel. I recall sitting in class at the beginning of the day, and the freshman representative walks in to count how many students had dressed up. She looked around at our classroom, everyone was dressed up, and of course, out of everyone, she makes eye contact with me. She grabs her board in excitement, looks me dead in the eyes, and smiles and says, "Good work, that's 1 point for the freshman." Of course, being called a freshman as a senior prompted a domino effect of awkward laughter. I smile at her and say, actually, I'm a senior. Looking back at this memory reminds me of those first few months of freshman year. Does everyone remember that phase when we were all imbued with surges of apprehension and excitement as our minds wandered with possibilities of the future? We may have been small, especially me, a 5'4", 80-pound freshman, but there was this undaunted curiosity that many of us shared. While some of us may have gotten taller, and I grew some chest hair, I hope we can all remember that as we mature and age, to not let go of our youthful eagerness when faced with new beginnings. If I was to preserve two features from my freshman self, it would be that initial fervor and my bright blonde hair. As our lives readjust, the world renews, and our graduating class moves forward to pursue future endeavors, I hope we can all channel this vigor we carried with us as eager freshmen. Whether you're going to college, the military, work, or trade school, it's vital that we never stop yearning for new experiences. Because life's like puberty. While things can get kind of hairy, they can still be exciting. Thank you.
The class of 2020 had 3 individuals who distinguished themselves academically. Your valedictorians are Tram An Ho, Calvin Justin Alafaroff, and Jillian Marie Sweeney. Now welcome Jillian Marie Sweeney, speaking on their behalf.
Good morning, Dr. Morton, Dr. Malash, members of the Board of Education and the Superintendency, West Administration, teachers, parents and families, friends, and graduates. Bob Goff once said, "Embrace uncertainty. Some of the most beautiful chapters in our lives won't have titles until much later." If our high school experiences had to be summed up into one word, that word would be uncertain. Uncertain of what high school would really be like, uncertain of how many of our friendships would last, uncertain of how our class as a whole would be remembered. COVID-19 has only added to the levels of uncertainty that our class has accumulated over the years. Not knowing how I would be finishing my time here at West has been more challenging than most things I have faced in the past 4 years. I can honestly say that this quarantine has been worse than all of the long essays written in U.S. history, all of the math tests that have been stressed over, and the anticipation of all the big games. In all of these challenging moments I have had over the past 4 years, I always had the end in sight and knew that all of my hard work, determination, and resilience would be celebrated in a beautiful graduation ceremony and an exciting end to senior year. I don't think any of us could have imagined 2020 to be the way that it is and how our senior year would end on some random Friday in March. Masks have become the new fashion trend, my personal online shopping habits have increased incredibly, and I've spent so much more quality time with family. This year has been anything but ordinary, yet we have made it here today. I don't think many of us were dying to go back to school after winter break, but after a long and hard 3 months of quarantine, I'm sure we would all be so grateful to have one more day of high school. Despite the year ending so abruptly, our class has accomplished so much during our time here at West. We entered these halls 4 years ago and experienced all of our firsts. Our first football game, first concert, first class, first time eating on the bleachers of a gymnasium, and our first time making it safely through the DEF intersection. My high school experience began in a very unexpected way as I saw myself running sprints on my first day of soccer preseason in the 90-degree August sun. Little did I know that preseasons happen for every sport, every season, every year. Yes, that is 12 total preseasons that I am proud to have finished and never have to do again. It feels like yesterday that I was sitting in my freshman Alpha homeroom, not knowing anyone else, and listening to the peer leaders talk about all of the great experiences they've had in high school. 4 years and a lot of experiences later, I found myself in front of a room of scared freshmen, envious that they are just beginning their journey at West. This break from school has only given me time to reflect on all of the wonderful moments that our class has experienced, like winning lip sync 3 years in a row, making it to the Group 3 finals in girls soccer and wrestling, winning the Group 3 final in baseball, and finally being crowned as Spirit Week champions as a class. I have created lasting friendships and relationships with people who I've grown to know within the walls of West, and I am forever grateful to the outstanding staff and students who have made these 4 years something I'll never forget. And to the class of 2020, I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. And now I would like to introduce the Cherry Hill High School West Combined Choirs.
Standing one by one, with our future in our hands. So many dreams, so many plans. Always knew after all these years that we laughed to let these tears. I never thought I'd walk away with so much joy, with so much pain, and it's been so hard to say. Yesterday's gone, we gotta keep moving on. I'm so thankful for the moments, so glad I got to know you. The times that we had, I'll keep like a photograph and hold you in my heart forever. I'll always be there. Chapter in the book, can't go back, but you can look. And there we are on every page, memories I'll always save. Up ahead on the open doors, who knows what we're heading towards. I wish you love, I wish you love. We knew the world just opens up, but it's so hard to say.
Thank you, Sophie Donnie Sherfain, for delivering the Student Government Organization Address.
Good morning, Dr. Morton, Dr. Malash, members of the Board of Education and the Superintendency, West Administration, teachers, parents and families, friends, and of course, the class of 2020. My name is Sophie Sherfain, and I am honored to be speaking to you all today on behalf of the Student Government Organization. It was like just yesterday. We were all frantic freshmen, wandering the halls of what seemed at the time the largest building we'd ever stepped in. The upperclassmen tried helping when they could, but ultimately, we were on our own. We eventually became more and more comfortable with our environment, and before we knew it, we are all sitting here today, virtually, about to face much larger challenges. My experience at Cherry Hill West has been one of growth, one of finding myself. Being a part of the Student Government Organization these past 4 years has allowed me to step out of my comfort zone. Along with my fellow classmates, I had the opportunity to lead many events alongside the executive committee with the help of Mrs. Hensley. These events included the annual FOP party for hundreds of children with special needs in the Cherry Hill and surrounding districts. They also included a blood drive, which gave students and faculty the opportunity to donate blood and help many patients. I would like to thank Mrs. Hensley and all previous advisors for all the hard work they have put into this program. Over these past 4 years, I have made friendships that will last me a lifetime. I had the privilege of forming connections with classmates that share a plethora of different interests and backgrounds. Our many cultural clubs and organizations here at West give students the opportunity to showcase and share with others their cultures in a uniquely diverse and rich environment. When I think of West in its entirety, I see a tight-knit group of administrators, faculty members, and students that work together to create a spirit-filled and cohesive home for all. From the popular West vs. East football games to very competitive sports seasons, to spirit weeks, pep rallies, and the renowned theater department, our school morale has never ceased to shine. We are one community that supports one another and strives to make each day a great one. Although this is not how any of us would have envisioned this day, the strength and unity of our class, not only today, but throughout these past 4 years, has truly inspired me. We have all lived through different, beautifully unique journeys, filled with moments of happiness as well as tests of our strength. Any moment that you may have doubted yourself or felt as though you could not succeed have pushed you to this very moment. This is the moment that we step out into the world and start on our path to accomplishing every goal we could have imagined. Although roads we have taken may have been different, they have all led us to this one moment that we will all share for the rest of our lives. Today, we enter the world with fresh eyes and see it as a place of countless opportunities and new beginnings. Whether you are heading to college or trade school, on the East Coast or the West Coast, in the U.S. or abroad, always remember that your experiences at Cherry Hill West have shaped your dreams and clearly marked your roadway to accomplishing them. I know I will always hold dear the cherished moments I've had here and look back on these last 4 years with gratitude towards my family, my friends, and my teachers, who have helped me become the person I am today. As the famous Mahatma Gandhi once said, be congruent, be authentic, be your true self. With that, I congratulate and wish you all the best of luck with all of your new adventures. I can assure you that I will never forget the incredible impact that Cherry Hill West High School and all my classmates and teachers have had on my life.
The class of 2020 is such a special group of students to me. I have a tremendous amount of affection, appreciation, and admiration for these children. My admiration comes from the knowledge that they refuse to become idle victims of circumstance. Yes, their senior year was abruptly interrupted, forfeiting them with the opportunity to fortify memories through experiences given to those before them. And yes, these students have every right to express bitterness and anger. However, they have not done this at all. Rather than focusing on what has been lost, they put their energies into the creation of new experiences. When I think of the class of 2020, the word legacy comes to my mind. The members of the class have personified the ambition, the poise, the camaraderie, and the resilience synonymous with qualities we call the West Way. The West Way symbolizes the positive character traits adopted by and reflected in those who have walked the halls of this great institution in years past. The West Way is our legacy, and the members of the class of 2020 have reflected this legacy. Patrick Mahaney is a young man who I'm very fond of. He's a friendly, reflective, and highly social student. My interactions with him are always spirited and lively. As a new student at West, Patrick, though endearing to the staff, struggled. Towards the end of his sophomore year, things began to turn around for him, and since that time, he has dramatically improved his attendance, punctuality to school, completion of assignments, and overall outlook on school. Rarely have I been as proud of a student as I am of Patrick. Patrick's legacy is an important one, and it aligns with a quote once made by former U.S. Secretary of Defense Colin Powell. In the quote, Colin Powell said, "There are no secrets to success. It's the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure." Kerrigan Donnelly has exemplified excellence during her time at West. An unassuming young lady, she consistently reflected the West Way daily. She excelled in the classroom and also on the fields as a three-sport athlete. This year, she was named the Cherry Hill West Female Olympic Conference Scholar Athlete of the Year. Kerrigan is the fifth of the Donnelly children to graduate from West over the course of the past 5 years. She now joins her 4 siblings and her mom as proud West grads. Her legacy will be that she brought pride to High School West, pride to the Donnelly family, and pride to herself as a model student who reflected the West Way. And in speaking of legacy, no student had a larger legacy to live up to than Bridget Malash. Bridget entered High School West 4 years ago as the youngest of 3 high-achieving and popular siblings who were West grads. Bridget is also the child of our district superintendent, Dr. Joseph Malash, another West grad. Bridget beautifully managed the expectations that were placed upon her as she displayed tremendous humility and a desire to serve others. Bridget reflected the West Way and distinguished herself by remaining true to her character and the essence of who she is as a person. In doing so, she created a lasting legacy at High School West. Hakim Melvin is a young man who transferred into High School West at the start of his junior year. A New York City transplant, he quickly ingratiated himself to the entire High School West community, using his laid-back yet charming personality. I've marveled at his ability to handle setbacks and negative situations that he himself did not create. As a 2-sport athlete, he was a fiery competitor and one who absolutely refused to lose. His will to win was infectious. It was a pleasure to watch this young man on the football field and on the basketball court as he encouraged his teammates. His resilience and ability to get up when he'd been knocked down will long be remembered in the annals of High School West. This year, I had the opportunity to work closely with 11 students who comprised the Principal's Student Leadership Council. These students worked closely with me throughout the year to share their voice while helping to shape the experiences of our entire student body. They worked intimately with faculty, participated in professional development, worked with national consultants, took part in interview hiring committees, and shared their candid ideas and perspectives with me on an ongoing basis. The members of the council have made me exceedingly proud, and they've demonstrated the power of student voice. John Balagdis, Noor Beg, Kaya Struther, Angelina Cosme, Gina Bellin, Jack Begley, Marlia Ewberry, Javion Saunders, Maddie Girgenti, Olivia Hafner, and Maria Musa comprised the council. Each of them added tremendous value and voice to the group. It has been rewarding for me to get to know each of these students as leaders throughout the year. They have created an enduring legacy that speaks to the power of student voice. To each of the members of the council, I say thank you. And I also say thank you to all of the members of the class of 2020. As Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Only in the darkness can we see the stars." And I'll tell you this, the only way that one can see the stars is by keeping one's head up. With that, I say congratulations to you all on your graduation, and I encourage you to shoot for the stars, and in doing so, keep your head up. At this time, we'd like to recognize our students who will be joining the U.S. military. Jack William Ackerman, the United States Air Force. Sean James Ackerman, the United States Army. Patrick Ryan Buchanan, the United States Army. Alexander Michael Dudley, the United States Army. Carl William Eberhart, the United States Army. Brianne Elizabeth McCullough, the United States Air Force. Mario John Papineri, the United States Army. Colin Scott Permar, the United States Navy. Matthew James Michael Porch, the United States Marine Corps. And Dominic Arnaldo Vitale, the United States Marine Corps. The class closure, this morning's final student presentation, will be offered by Jack Ashton Marble.
Good morning, Dr. Morton, Dr. Malash, members of the Board of Education and the Superintendency, West Administration, teachers, parents and families, friends, and of course, the class of 2020. First and foremost, I want to congratulate every single one of you watching today, the parents for always believing in us, the faculty for successfully changing our lives, and most importantly, my fellow classmates. As a class, we most certainly made our distinct mark upon Cherry Hill High School West, and I firmly believe that we continue to make a positive impact on the world. I'm extremely grateful to have shared my high school experience with you all at the best high school I know. One of the things I love most about our home for the past 4 years, West, is that the distinct culture and learning community that could never be replicated anywhere else. Throughout the hallways and classrooms, I am constantly reminded of how our school, even more specifically our class, embodies the West Way. For everyone who does not know, the West Way is used to describe the unique learning environment of West, where the teachers don't just teach, but are genuinely focused on building positive relationships with students, and where students are compassionate and respectful to one another. I firmly believe that the students and alumni from West share a learning experience that encourages diverse thinking, that allows each student as an individual to find their own talents and master them, while also revealing individual flaws in order to improve as an individual and as a community. The West Way not only gives our students a unique path to success, but also allows us a means of enjoying that journey. One of my favorite high school experiences that embodies the creative and unique thinking attributed to the West Way is my experience with the Spaghetti Bridge competition. The only rules for this project are that the bridges must be built out of spaghetti and some sort of glue. It is up to the students to figure out the best kind of bridge with the best materials in order to win the competition. This specific project was a partner project due to the sheer amount of work necessary to build a bridge out of spaghetti and glue. Leading up to this project, John Howe, who was my partner for this project, and I decided to set 1 weekend aside to work on this project. We have both heard horror stories from our older siblings that this project has made people work over 20 hours on a bridge, only for it to be destroyed on the day of competition. In order to avoid this, we decided to take a different approach by using epoxy for the entire bridge. This loophole of the rules enabled us to spend a mere 2 hours on the bridge while taking most of the time to perfect our Guitar Hero skills, while the epoxy in our homemade mold dried. Then, on competition day, we came into West with our heads held high, very confident that we could possibly take the gold. Upon the destruction of our bridge, we hoped that our bridge would be the best. As it turns out, our bridge, being extremely different than the other bridge, was only mediocre at best. Like the bridge, our class and our experience is different and unique compared to other classes and their experience. We certainly did not have the ending that we expected, but I think it's safe to say that our journey was fun while it lasted. Similar to John and I with our bridge, I think that every one of us here walked into this year, our final year at Cherry Hill High School West, with our heads held high, and with absolutely no clue the adversity that laid in front of us all. The only thing that I know for a fact is that unlike the bridge, our class is not mediocre in any way. For the rest of our lives, we will be known as the class of 2020, the class that stayed strong and stuck it through these difficult and confusing times. And with that, I am excited to see the future that each and every one of you will create. Finally, I want to end this speech abruptly and without warning. Similar to how our senior year,
Dr. Joseph Malash, Superintendent of Schools, will now address the class of 2020 and present them to the Board of Education.
Mrs. Seidel and members of the Board of Education, Dr. Morton and members of the Cherry Hill High School West administration, faculty and staff, parents, family members and friends, and finally, to the Cherry Hill High School West graduating class of 2020. As the Superintendent of Schools for the Cherry Hill Public School District, I am blessed to address the class on behalf of the district's staff and the Cherry Hill community. This is a day of great significance for our community. You are individuals who have successfully demonstrated that you have the grit and the determination to be successful, to accept challenges head on, and to move beyond mistakes and missteps. The path to high school graduation is not an easy one for any student or for any family, and it is not a path that is traveled alone. Most years, while I feel a nervous anticipation leading up to the ceremony, there is always an overwhelming sense of grace and peace as I experience the ceremony. This year, I have found that feeling of grace and peace as I have spoken with members of your class, with parents, with teachers, and with folks in our community. While we are not together in the same venue, separated by circumstance, our community has demonstrated social solidarity to honor this class. I know that there are multiple generations from all walks of life together right now celebrating you, our graduates, the greatest part of our community and our future. I've had a unique opportunity to watch you mature as a class, to observe from a distance as you have navigated the high school experience, seeking to solidify your identity during the past 4 years. So much has happened to shape and to mold you as individuals and as a singular force at High School West. There has been joy and there has been frustration as you have begun to truly figure out who you are and what you believe. There have been love and relationships begun and stopped. Relationships that have started, relationships that have been extinguished, connections that have been fueled and bonds that have been formed. There's been unbridled passion and competition on the courts and on the playing fields, in the pools and in the gyms, and there have been plays and concerts on our stages, musicals, thespians and musicians to entertain, to inspire. There has been service to our community and service to the school and service to so many who have learned that we, as individuals and as a community, are responsible for one another. You have been points of light, beacons of hope, shining brightly for all to see. You have set and achieved goals, and at times you have failed to meet expectations. Yet each day you have gotten up, you have gathered your friends and your family and yourselves, and you have moved forward. Athletes and scholars, committed and driven, truly lion-hearted, seizing the opportunity and the responsibility to nurture the next generation of students, young men and young women who are proud and strong and kind, and who have demonstrated the power that love and support have in our educational community. You have learned to include everyone in activities and to embrace the differences that makes each of us unique. You are bright and dedicated with service to your class and to others at the center of who you have become. With your talents, you have openly expressed who you believe you are, and you have just begun to blossom. As a class, you have excelled artistically and with humility, and we as the community of Cherry Hill, we owe you our thanks and our admiration for the foundation that you have broadened for future generations of High School West students. With each step on your journey, you have grown in confidence. One of the things that I cherish the most about being an educator in Cherry Hill is that I've had the opportunity to meet your families and to hear their stories about their individual Cherry Hill experience. As the father of a graduating senior, my baby bird, my Bridget, I have known some of you for most of your lives. During the past few years, I've been with parents as they have laughed and honestly as they have cheered and cried, as they have struggled to find sometimes the next step. It's not easy being the parent of a high school student. To that I can certainly attest. But being a parent brings about more joy than anything else in the world. And this is not something that any of us as parents do alone. So many families have given of themselves without thanks and without recognition and without the need for either to fulfill the needs of your class. The PTA parents and the booster group leaders who serve behind the scenes, they have given to make this a better experience for us all, representing so many mothers and fathers, grandparents and guardians, aunts and uncles. So many family members and friends, all who have opened their hearts and often who have reached into their wallets and have given of their time to enhance your high school experience. As a class and as an educational community, we owe them all our thanks, our gratitude, and our admiration. So now take a moment and say thank you. Say thank you to your family members with whom you are sitting. I have seen your smiles and your enthusiasm for life, your commitment to success, and your ability to honor your families and yourselves in all that you have chosen to pursue. Through example and with perseverance, you have answered the call to produce as entertainers, beautiful and poised and powerful, humble and heartfelt, strong voices with captivating resonance. Each of you has dedicated to being so much more than you were when you arrived at the front door as freshmen. So many of you have refused to allow circumstances beyond your control to define you. Rather, you have chosen to create new opportunities and to move ahead. You have learned that your thoughts matter, that your perspective matters, that your voice matters, and that you truly matter to all of us. I contend that you are members of the greatest generation our country has ever seen, and I know that our community, our Cherry Hill, our state and our country, that we need your voices and your commitment and your involvement and honestly your kindness. You are friends and you are mentors, and you have left indelible memories on the hearts and souls of those of us who have been lucky enough to have had the opportunity to spend time with you. Always remember that as you move forward beyond your high school experience, that you represent us, your families, High School West, and Cherry Hill. And when you represent us, do it with pride and with honor and dignity, and represent us well moving on into college and to the military and to work. Each day, make the choice to be kind. It's that choice that can influence all who are around you. Smile and say hello. Make new acquaintances and be nice. Let kindness be at your core, at your foundation. Let it be your strength, and let it be your connection with us back here at home. Personally, I would like to thank each one of you for what you have continued to teach me and your families and your teachers, that every day we are blessed with the greatest responsibility and the most incredible jobs that anyone could ever have. Mrs. Seidel, as the superintendent of the Cherry Hill Public School District, I present to you the Cherry Hill High School West class of 2020, and I can assure you that they have fulfilled all of the requirements necessary to certify them for graduation.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Cherry Hill Board of Education, I accept the Cherry Hill High School West class of 2020 and authorize its commencement. Congratulations, class of 2020. Graduates, parents, and families on reaching this milestone. As many have remarked over the past weeks, this may not be the way you envisioned celebrating your accomplishments. It is, however, quite an accomplishment. Just a few short years ago, you were playing kickball during recess or exploring Mount Misery with your fellow sixth graders. More recently, you were acting or singing in a school play, leading your robotics team to victory, or scoring the winning goal in a varsity game. You were planning fundraisers and dances as student government leaders, or showcasing your inner entrepreneur during DECA regionals. You are studying hard, participating in activities, hanging out with friends, and making memories. You are making the most of your high school experience. Today is a celebration of that experience. Today, the high school chapter is finished, and the next is waiting to be written. Rest assured, you are well prepared for this next chapter. Whether you are off to college, the military, or starting your career, our amazing teachers and administrators have given you the tools to succeed. In the years ahead, you will put these tools to good use. The world looks very different than it did 3 months ago. There will be changes to our daily lives. But that won't stop you from reaching your goals and your dreams. Your class has been tested, yet you persevered. You are the class of 2020, graduating today in spite of challenging times. I know that your families share my confidence in the class of 2020 to step out into this new world and make it a better place for all of us. But before you take that next step, be sure to celebrate your accomplishments. Share a virtual hug with your friends. And be sure to thank your parents and families for supporting your dreams. Graduates, remember, behind you, all your memories. Before you, all your dreams. Around you, all who love you. And within you, all you need. Congratulations to the Cherry Hill High School West class of 2020.
As we get ready this morning to acknowledge each of our graduates, I would also like to take a moment to recognize 3 faculty members who will be retiring this year. Ms. Nancy Schmerick, Ms. Angie Sablich, and Ms. Barbara Rakosi. Participating in a West tradition, Ms. Schmerick and Ms. Sablich will join Dr. Burns in reading the names of the graduates.
Kevin Abu Samra, Uzoma Mercy Achanivu, Jack William Ackerman, Sean James Ackerman, Victoria Alexandra Adams, Emily Caitlin Alexander, Calvin Justin Aliferov, Erin Elizabeth Allen, Abdullah Muhammad Al-Shamrani, Aaliyah Nicole Alvarado, Charlie Alvarez Reyes, Kiana Eliza Descutado Amora, Matthew Russell Anderson, Thomas Christopher Angelastro, Talia Avila, Alexander Martin Ascona, Luis Alfredo Babylonia Jr., Noor Fatima Baig, Amanda Michelle Baird, John Carlo Balagtas, Maria Guadalupe Bautista Ramos, Samuel Miguel Beatty, Rachel Bessica, Jack Thomas Bagley, Gina Marie Rose Bellon,
Daniel Patrick Berkman, Michelle Bermio Bautista, Juan Pablo Bermudez, Pedra Ursula Binns, Eliana Leah Rachel Birnbaum, Elijah Isaac Blige, Ketsia Bosulu Bangwele, Michael William Batalico, Bradley Stephen Burrell, Aaron Colleen Bradley, Catherine Ann Brennan, Natasha Taylor Brooks Ocasio, Shane Charles Brown, Patrick Ryan Buchanan, Miranda Kirsten Burns, John Tyler Butts, Mandy Kai, Sean Eric Campbell, Sydney Kai Camper, Nicholas Alexander Canuso, Leanna Grace Carpenter,
Daniel Carrasco,
Anne Elizabeth Casano, Venjing Chen,
Sophie Danny Sherfane, Jane Chur, James Chung, Isabella Marie Siochi, Christian William Clark, Carly Rose Cabuzio, Kaylee Agiona Collins, Madeline Paige Combs, Gabriela Ann Concepcion, Anthony Michael Cooper, Melanie Cornejo, Angelina Marie Cosme, Janaya Elizabeth Covert, Teresa Tempest Crowley, Felix Anthony Cruz, Jubin Renoir Cruz, Alejandro Juan Cumba, Sarah Ruth Curran, Dominic Jagger D'Amico, John Kenneth Casera Dango, Ayana Nicole Davis, Michaela Liani Davis, Orlando De Jesus Gonzalez Jr., Anthony Joseph Delfico, Zachariah Michael Delgado,
Madison Grace Desjardins, Rachel Victoria Dinter, Colin James DeVitro, LaRonda Dobrova, Dielza Dobrova, Eric Allen Dolan, Maya Jacqueline Donahue, Kerrigan Reese Donnelly, Drew Melanie Dooner, Joshua Duran, Matthew Charles Dowdy, Alexander Michael Dudley, Rumesa Duca, Mylin Duong, Carl William Eberhardt, Frank Joseph Ebling, Kyle Stephen Edwards, Quinn Lauren Eman, Riley Page Eman, Sarah Rose Eisenstein, Gustavo Adolfo Espinosa, La Quinta Anak Sue Fabian, Egypt Antifada Lama Fagan, Blaze Antonio Viola, Gavin Jonathan Farlow, Anna Michelle Fawley,
Jillian Maria Foose, Natalie Elizabeth Freeland, Bryce Nicholas Fumia, Joseph Nicholas Ferguele, Colette Marjolaine Gaeta, Olivia Ann Gallardo, Harry H. Gallo, Taji Franco Gary, Lauren Ann Gentili, Madison Connors Gergenti, Vincent Michael Galato, Destiny Yvette Gonzalez, Joseph Christine Gonzalez Guzman, Jamie Caroline Gorlick, Jatsia Irene Graves, Patrick William Green, Javon Asmir Griffin, Sean Roosevelt Grimes, Lawozin Woe, Olivia Taylor Hafner, Alana Dara Himes,
Patricia Hall Newkirk,
George Alvin Hall, Madeline Catherine Harrison, James Robert Hazel, Belen Herrera,
Maricruz Herrera Zamudio, Nicholas John Hubel, Tram Onhu Ho, Jacob Ryan Hort, John Chandler Howe, Kylie Elizabeth Hoisted, Gabriella Maria Ugal, Tyreek Tamir Huff, Julie Hune, Zachary Michael Imperator, John Gabriel Iannucci, Jay Shalise Irizarry, Kayla Maria Iwana, David Jordy Jaquez, Harris Andrew Jason, Angelina Jimenez, Patrick Johnson, Veronica Mary Johnson, go Ronnie, Ariana Jasani Jones, Emma Louise Jones, Julian Salvatore Giuliano, Alyssa Nicole Karcher, McKinley Elise Kaufman, Joey Howe Key,
Patrick Ryan Kenny, Damian Matthew Kersick Mack, Samuel Micaiah Kilsdunk, Alicia Beth King, Daniel William Kinsella, Armani Kitchens, Dagny Miranda Kite, Isabel Lucille Kliegman, Connor Lucas Krieger, Samantha Elizabeth Lafferty, Jordan Derek Lipford, Michaela Faith Lipko, Francesca Saldana Lombardo, Bryce Daniel McGee, Patrick Jer Mahaney,
Christos Stavros Maliaros,
Queso Managadze, Madiana Basai Mansare, John Aston Marble, Aaron Daniel Marrero, Jaden Norberto Marrero, Griffin Matthew Martello, Xavier Exelion Mason, Zaid Adil May,
Amanda Catherine Mazzara, Ryan McLean, Brianne Elizabeth McCalla, Max Charles McCullum, Rukaya Doreen McFarlane, Spencer Neil McKittrick, Jose Adrian Melendez Elmonte, Sarah Aaron Melwig, Bridget Ann Malash, Hakeem Abdullah Matthew Melvin, Dawson Nathaniel Messias, Olivia Grace Miller, Joseph Anthony Monterosa, Isabella Marie Montez, Jaden Taylor Moore, Anaya Love Maraza, Sean Joseph Morgan, Grace Sharice Morton, Maria Tariq Musa, Laura Ann Myers, Haja Sharia Najibullah, Sophia Mercedes Nash, Kylie Allen Neal,
June Nok Nguyen, Michelle Nini Nguyen, Nan Trong Nguyen, Tien Nat Nguyen, Thomas Joseph Nguyen, Abby Negawowski, Megan Lynn Nutt, Michael Joseph O'Donnell, Mia Samantha Olivas, Adrian Khalil Olivencia, Sabina Ormanova, Daniel Elias Asaria, Mario John Papaniri, Arland Paprnikov, Fahim Pasha, Sarah Jane Pezlowski, Druville Sanjay Kumar Patel, Samars Himesh Patel, Ellie Andrew Cheney Paulson, Cameron Joy Pearson, Colin Scott Hermore, Sophia Marzoki Petrosky, Sanaa Maya Pallard, Matthew James Michael Porch,
Benjamin Russell Porowski, Christian Roberto Quinn, Melody Marie Quinn, Abdul Hafiz Abdul Sattar Rahal, Rahaf Abdul Sattar Rahal, Naya Sanjula Raj, Christine Cassandra De Leon Ramirez, Megan Elizabeth Ray, Jenna Nicole Reck, Ahmad Abdullah Rahalway, Jose Alexander Rivera, Amari Timer Robinson, Nicholas Anthony Robinson, Summer Joy Rogers Lopez, Andrew Michael Rodier, Rachel Nicole Rosenberg, Amanda Page Rowan, Hannah Lynn Ruiz, Matthew Rumsey, Ian Edward Sachs, Rachel Jean Salcito, Ian Tite Santana, Cooper Thomas Satterfield, Jaylyn Yasir Saunders,
Javion Jaheim Saunders, Foster Sarah Schaefer, Thomas George Schillinger, Alexis Taylor Schneider, Elliot Maxwell Schoen, Peter Anthony Schultz, Sydney Kendall Schultz, Harry Joseph Schwartz, Zachary David Siebert, Diallo Messiah Shakur, Catherine Mary Seifert, Madison Nicole Slim, Alan Smadgett, Mia Teresa Smargiso, Amir Danelle Smith, Aviance Sakira Smith, Guillermo Gonzalez Suarez, Sonia Rose Solomon, Eric Joel Soto, Ricardo Corneo Soto, Aaron Miles Spell, Aiden Michael Sperry, Clarissa Kelly Stalcup, Welly Stephen, Shane Matthew Edward Stingle,
Brian James Strang, Kaya Danielle Struther, Anya Josephine Stuckert, Jillian Marie Sweeney, Nicholas Joseph Sylvester, Haley Jade Tanjutka, Mary Rita Diala Tarchichi, Jordan Danielle Tears, Tikel Joe Thorpe, Milan Demetrius Tolliver, Laura Ann Tomasetti, Samuel Patrick Tracy, Kevin Q. Tran, Demetrios Stavros Tripolitis, Marley Elise Ubari, Sophie Grace Ungolider, Manuel de Jesus Vargas, Dejan Marie Vargas Rodriguez, Catherine Vasquez Sestoque, Yanni Ventura Ramos, Dominic Arnaldo Vitali, Tao Vu, Katrina Ann Vizaniaris, Brianna Nay Shea Walcott, Luke David Walsh, Ryan James West, Zachary Xavier Wilkins, Christopher Daniel Williams Jr., Taylor Lynn Williams Stewart, Joshua Wong, Cameron Rachel Wright, Jasmine Dawn Wright, William Wu, Jesus Ricardo Zavala, Cole Winston Zeisloft, Sophia Zuniga. Congratulations to the class of 2020. I'm so proud of you guys.
Please join your classmates in the singing of the Cherry Hill High School West alma mater. And now, for one final time, class of 2020, class dismissed.